Hi, good evening, everyone. I am Deepthi, and I welcome you all to the Great Indian Film Festival. Now, as we all are going through some very tough times, I urge you all to stay home as much as possible and double mask in case you have to step out. Now, speaking of TGIFF, it is a touring film festival focusing on bringing different cultures of the world together through one medium, that's films, and extending deserved appreciation to the short filmmakers as well. Now, today we have an accomplished journalist joining us who has one of the most popular radio chat shows called Beyond Bollywood on BBC Asia. He will be throwing some interesting insights on the medium. So, people, please welcome Haroon Rashid. Hey Haroon, how are
Hi,
you? Welcome to TGIFF.
hi, Dipti. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. I hope you are staying safe and staying home and with family.
Yes, no, absolutely. I'm staying safe and well over here, but I know things are really bad right now in India. So just wishing everybody
Yeah.
lots of strength and positivity and prayers, and I hope everybody is safe and well as well. It's a horrible time, but I
Yes,
hope everybody is okay.
yes. Thank you so much. And that's what we wish and pray that this too shall pass soon.
Yeah.
Now, to begin with, how I want to ask you, how has your journey been, you know, to have come this far to actually host your own radio chat show? It's called Beyond Bollywood,
Yeah.
which is airing. And so, were you born and brought up in London? And, how did you kind of get connected to Bollywood?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was born and brought up here in London, but I grew up on a staple diet of Bollywood, like most British Asians who live here, whose families have migrated from South Asia to the UK. You grow up watching Bollywood films, and I grew up in the 90s, so all your Shah Rukh Khan classics are what I grew up on, from Bazigar to Dar to Anjam to Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, Dil To Pagal Hai, Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. You name
Oh,
it, I
wow.
saw it. I saw it a million times while I was growing up. So I knew very early on that I was interested in Hindi cinema and I was interested in Bollywood specifically.
Right.
And then I just wondered when I was a teenager how I can turn this passion and this hobby and this enjoyment for cinema into some sort of career. And I slowly realized that there was something called journalism and there was something called film journalism where you could critique these films that you were watching, where you could interview the people who were making those films as well. And it just fascinated me completely.
Yes. Oh, wow. So it's safe to say that your craze for Bollywood is what actually inspired you to start a chat show and be a film journalist.
Yeah, absolutely. And how many people can say they actually do their hobby for their job? I'm in a very privileged position where I get to say that, I get to interview the people who I've grown up watching and who I love watching on screen. And it's magical, it's a really
Yes.
privileged thing to do.
Absolutely, I absolutely agree. So today, because you're sitting on the other side of the fence, how does that feel?
Strange, I won't lie to you. I'm scared about what questions you'll ask me, but it's okay. I don't mind.
Okay, well, they're easy questions. We just want some, insights from you. Now, see, you have interviewed celebrities, actors, actresses, yourself. Now, you do have a good idea, if you can give us, an insight on what is the one thing common in all of them as creators that you felt.
I think they're all very hard working. Honestly, I think Dipti, I don't know about you, but I think that Bollywood has this really bad perception that it's like this glamorous industry where everybody is just partying all night and sleeping all day, and they turn up to a film set at some point and do an odd scene here and an odd scene there. That's not been my experience of Hindi film celebrities at all. And I've been interviewing them for a number of years now. And I actually think they're among some of the most hardworking people I know. The amount of work it takes to make those films we watch on screen is no easy task. And they're dedicated. It's not a 9 to 5 job. You see them even when they're promoting their films, they still have to be in certain diet regimes. They still have to be training, physically training. It's a non-stop 24-hour a day job. So I really admire that about them.
Yes, absolutely. I completely agree with you. You've been associated with Bollywood in a big way since a while now. But I want to ask you on a completely different genre, from the commercial cinema that you've probably grown up watching. What are your thoughts on this short film genre?
It's great. I mean, I think that right now is a thriving opportunity or thriving market even for the short film genre because there's so many platforms where they can be screened, you know. So not only do you have film festivals like your own film festival, but you have streaming platforms as well that are willing to distribute these short films. And I think quite often uh, so for example, if a film's being made about a relatively serious subject, you're more likely to watch a 20-minute short film on it than a 2-hour feature film on it. So actually you
Correct.
can tackle a lot more nuanced subjects, a lot more diverse themes through short films than through feature length films. I mean, there's been so many in just the last couple of years, and big celebrities are doing them now as well. So my two
Yeah,
worlds are colliding, you know. So you have like Kajol, she starred in this short film called Devi last year, which was very, very good. You've got Vidya Balan, who's produced a short film called Nutcut as well. So the short
correct.
the short film genre has kind of overspilled into mainstream even a little bit now.
Yes, have you watched any of these short films?
Yeah, I've watched Devi, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I thought that was very good. Nutcut actually premiered here in the UK at a film festival here, but unfortunately it was just at the start of lockdown, so I didn't manage to catch that. But I think I also know that short films now are, of course, being wrapped into bigger anthology films, right? Like we just saw on Netflix a film called Ajib Dastans, which was four short
Correct.
films
Right.
together. Previous to
Yes.
that, there was Lust Stories as well, which was similar. It was
Correct.
four short stories together. I think my only concern would be that I think sometimes filmmakers get carried away with just projecting controversial themes because they're in this short film format. They don't necessarily, but I'm not sure if it's always required for them to get that controversial. I think that the example I'm thinking of in have you seen Ajib Dastans?
Yes, yes, I did.
Okay,
I
so
did see
are
it.
we allowed to share one spoiler or not? Can we share a spoiler?
Oh, well, yeah, please go ahead. I'm
So,
sure a lot of our viewers have already watched it. It's been on Netflix for a while
yeah.
now.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it was quite a brave attempt, but like one of those stories which involves a pressure cooker, and I won't say anything more than that, was just like, oh, this is
Yes,
horrible, you know?
that was terrific. Yes, I agree. I
So I
agree.
just wonder if some filmmakers are using the short film genre just to shock the audiences a little bit too much, maybe. It's just a thought.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I mean, though, I do feel that somewhere they do have like a hidden, message as well, like a social message or, but yes, I agree that, it could probably be a little more with essence, just what you said. Now,
Yeah.
do you think these kind of short films are on the way to being more appreciated now with film festivals happening?
Yeah,
Because
absolutely. I think so. There was another one that was made recently that had Vidya Balan doing the voiceover, and it had Mrinal Thakur. I think it was called Priya's Mask. I think it was a short film, and it was about encouraging people to stay safe during COVID. But the point is that even through, and there was also is it Bitti or Bittu, the one that
it too.
Bittu, yeah. So I watched that one as well. Actually, I watched that because that was produced by Guneet Monga,
Yeah,
Tyra Kashyap, and Ekta Kapoor as well. But I think they these short film formats are helping India and Indian film reach more mainstream platforms globally, and they're being considered for big prestigious award ceremonies as well. Like that one that I just mentioned was considered for the
right.
Oscars. It didn't make the final shortlist, but it was still
Yeah, yeah,
considered. And
yeah.
that's a great opportunity for Indian cinema for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Now, this is a hypothetical question, but if you were to judge a short film, uh, okay, let's put it another way. If you were to make a short film,
Yeah.
what would you choose as a subject?
Wow. Okay, now you are putting me on the spot. What would I choose as a subject for a short film? Uh, wow. Well, the thing is, there's so many themes that have already been covered. I don't think I could pick an original theme because I feel like so many are being covered already. But maybe just expand on some of those actually, because for example, in Ajib Dastan's the third story, which is Gili Puchi, which is a short film,
Yeah.
which deals a lot with caste discrimination and
Yes.
gender inequality and workplace
Correct.
harassment. They're all themes that you could expand on even more than they were already. So what, and sexuality as well. That was another theme in that film as well. But I particularly found workplace harassment in that short film really interesting, and I'd love to make a short film expanding on that a little bit more, because it is something that so many people experience and don't feel like they can speak out about, because of course they need to be in employment to earn a living as well. But I thought it was a really interesting theme that was tackled there.
Yes, absolutely. And I think through the last year, because of the lockdown, uh, there are a lot of these 5 minute, 7 minute films, that are coming out, which obviously have connotations, regarding the, of course, the virus, and how to
Yeah.
protect yourself, all of that. But do you think this has actually increased the creativity in content creators? And since you're one,
Yeah, 100%. I mentioned short films that have released during this period, but there was again an anthology of short films that released on Amazon Prime called Unpaused, which was four short stories that were made during the lockdown. And the first of those stories was like almost this dystopian world, which is set in 2032, I think it was, where the virus has mutated so several times, and it's like COVID 32, I think it was, what the virus was being called. But the creativity is incredible to see. Filmmakers are being forced to challenge themselves and their own kind of parameters for what they think audiences will accept. So I think this lockdown period, I think the pandemic has definitely given creative people an opportunity to push the boundaries when it comes to what they think, firstly, their minds can actually write, and what audiences are willing to
right.
accept. And I think, you and I and everybody else, we're more than willing to watch that content. We want to see new
Absolutely, yes.
stories. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So,
Actually,
so
you
yeah,
put me on the spot. Let me put you on the spot. If you were
yes, please.
making a short film,
Oh,
what theme would you choose?
see, I think, so these days, because everything is so grim, around, I would want to make something happy, something more positive.
Yes.
Maybe like a shorter version of a full-blown commercial, like maybe a love story, or like a comedy or something. I
Nice.
think just to boost everyone's spirits.
Dipti, I was thinking, and I'm going on a bit of a tangent here, but you mentioned love story. I was thinking, what has happened to the Bollywood love story? Why do we not get any love stories in Bollywood anymore? I can't even remember the last good love story I watched.
Really? Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I, I don't know where they're going. Somebody said to me, romance is dead. That's why nobody makes love stories anymore. But but
Oh,
what was the last Bollywood or Hindi film love story that was good? I genuinely have no idea.
well, yes, you're right. I mean, see, we haven't ventured to the theaters, so we're all banking on OTT platforms and whatever is released there.
Yeah,
So there has been some good content, but you're right. There has been less of romance.
yeah, for sure.
Yes. Now OTT. Now coming to OTT platforms are the order of the day. We're all on them. Most of the times. Now, how do you perceive these platforms absorbing the short film? Okay, film content in general and short films in particular.
Yeah, I think they're doing very, very well. I think with short films, it's quite difficult because with streaming services, if they're going to pay for a product, they want to know that audiences are going to click on that product and actually watch it. And the short film genre isn't typically something that somebody sits down on a Friday night or a Saturday night and says, "Let's watch a short film." You're looking for more mainstream entertainment typically on streaming services. But having said that, streaming services are giving some short films an opportunity. There's a short film by Sharmeen Obaid Chinoy, who's a Pakistani filmmaker, called Sitara, which is on Netflix. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's about child brides and child marriages, and it's a very, very good story. And it's an animated film, but it's a short film. And I think there are streaming platforms are giving opportunities like that to short films, but they're also giving opportunities to festival films, full-length feature films that you would typically only see at a festival, which now have a home on streaming platforms, and so many more people can watch that, which was never the case before. So,
Yeah.
Ib Aleu, which is a film that released last year, is now on Netflix, and a film like that probably would never have had a life beyond its film festival
Sure. Yes.
circuit, and
Mm.
now it's there forever for people to watch, which is a huge achievement.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. And I think all thanks to the OTT platforms, there are a lot of movies, critically acclaimed movies that we get to watch, which we may not have watched otherwise.
Yeah.
So, yes, I think it's doing a lot of good to cinema in general.
And I think this whole format is going to make people rethink their distribution structure because before COVID and before the pandemic, even festival films wanted to have a wide theatrical release, and they never used to really make much money from those theatrical releases, but they still wanted to have that theatrical release. And now, having seen how much streaming platforms can help boost distribution, I hope that some festival films rethink that kind of that kind of model, because even thinking about films that I've seen at festivals in the last few years that are actually very good, like have you seen Love, Sonia?
And no, I haven't.
Okay, so Love, Sonia is this excellent film. It stars Mrunal Thakur, Adil Hussain, Manoj Bajpayee, Richa Chadda. It's got quite an extensive cast in it. And I remember watching it here at a film festival in the UK. It's got Rajkumar Rao in it as well, and it was a very, very good film. And when it released in cinemas in India a couple of months later, it didn't do good business at all. And I just think, what the amount of blood, sweat, and tears that went into
Yeah.
making that film was wasted on the big screen. If it had gone to a Netflix or an Amazon or a Hotstar or a Z5 instead, it might have had a much bigger audience. So I hope that now films like that will rethink their distribution model, and hopefully that will benefit them.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, that was my next question, that if what your views were on short films receiving better monetizing opportunities. So yes, I'm glad you put that point across as well.
Yeah,
Now, there's another kind of cinema that is becoming popular now, which is mobile cinema.
yeah,
So because now everyone is a filmmaker, because everyone has a phone, and the easiest access one can have.
yeah.
So what is your point of view on this genre of cinema?
So, I mean, when you say mobile cinema, you mean like films that are going straight to streaming apps that people
No, they're being made on
they're
on
being
on
made on. Okay, so they're being made. I mean, I think it's great. I think for the longest time, filmmaking and directing or any sort of filmmaking has been limited to those people with resources, right? You need to have a camera, you need to have editing equipment, you need to have lighting, you need to have so many things
Right.
even to be in a place to create content. And now having that in your hand, literally on a mobile phone. I mean, mobile phone cameras are so advanced now. The
Yeah.
lighting sometimes on a mobile phone camera is better than a DSLR. And
And that's true. Yes, yes, I
yeah,
agree. Yeah.
so having that option, I think, opens a world of possibilities for you. And also, it's a stepping stone, right? If you're somebody who is, I don't know, maybe 16, 17, 18 years old, you are interested in film, you have a passion for it, but you don't have the resource to go and create a high budget short film, then make your film on your mobile phone, send it to a film festival. They might consider it, and those just going to that festival might mean you can meet somebody who can actually create an opportunity for you with using a proper camera, eventually. But
Yes,
there's no
yes.
harm. There's no harm in starting off with the means that you have available to you. And if that is a phone, then you should totally do that.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's a good trial as well, to kind of test your directive whatever,
Yeah,
your
your skills,
abilities.
your storytelling
Yes,
skills.
yes,
You know,
yes,
experiment with your camera angles, experiment with your lighting, experiment with
yes,
your framing. You know, there's so much you can experiment with on a mobile phone that will help you, because the principles um, of filming, of shooting, of camera is the same whether it's on a big screen or a small screen. The actual principles of what you're shooting
yes.
is the same. You know, as long as you're not half cutting off somebody's head and you're not cutting off somebody's arm, as long as your story is compelling, people will watch it.
Yes, absolutely. And that was, I think, one of the most fun conversations I've had. But I'm not letting you go. I'm going to put you a little bit of a spot, a
Okay,
little.
okay, okay,
So I'm going to throw a volley of rapid fire questions at you,
sure.
and you have to be quick in answering.
I will try
Uh,
my best.
okay, which has been your favorite interview?
Oh, probably Shah Rukh Khan. Probably Shah Rukh Khan. I mean, interviewing Shah Rukh Khan is always fun. But yeah, Shah Rukh Khan, I would say.
And which one would you say has been your worst?
There's no way I'm answering that.
Okay,
Which
we'll
one?
we'll
Which
let
one
you
has?
off that
Which one
one.
has been your worst, Dipti? Let me ask you.
My worst one, I'm still starting out. So
Okay, okay, that's fine. That's a nice way of dodging that question.
I'm still new to this, I'm still trying to get a hold. So of course, I think, okay, we'll let you off on that one. Your favorite Bollywood actor or actress, or both?
Um, okay, so my favorite Bollywood actor would probably be Ranbir Kapoor of the current generation, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but probably Shah Rukh Khan of all time, I would say. And um, favorite actress is very tough, very tough. But I have a soft spot for both Kajol and Juhi Chawla, I would say.
Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic. Yeah, yeah. Great. Good choices.
thank you.
Um,
Who are
which is
yours? I
the
want to
best?
know. I want to know yours as well. Who's your favorite Bollywood
Okay,
actor
my
and actress?
favorite. Okay, my favorite actor would be well, of the Khan. Yes, I too. I'm a Shah Rukh fan as well, and
Yeah.
of course Amir Khan, Amir and
Oh,
Shah
of
Rukh. I
course. Yeah.
I put them in the same bracket. Actress, I think Alia Bhatt is good.
Sh-
From the current generation.
She's excellent.
And of
She's
course,
very
I
good.
think Madhuri Dixit is the all-time. She's the evergreen. I think
Yeah.
she'll
So,
always.
see, if you'd asked me like 10 of my favorite Bollywood actresses, I would have had like 10 names to give you. So there's so many to pick from. It's very talented.
Yeah. In fact, I'd like to mention Shefali.
Shifali
Uh,
Shah.
well, Shefali Chaya, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shefali Shah, and Konkana Sen Sharma. I
Okay, if
think
you
they.
get that many, then I can at least mention Vidya Balan as well, because Vidya Balan is also excellent.
Yes, of course. Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that one. Okay. The best compliment that you've received and from whom?
Okay, any celebrity who says to me that I've done my homework makes me very happy, because I do my homework for every single interview that I do. Even if it's somebody I've interviewed like 10 times before, I still do my homework. So when any celebrity acknowledges that you've done your bit of the work, makes me very happy. And or you know, if a celebrity says to me, oh, I've never been asked that question before, that's always lovely to hear. So anything like that always feels really good. And I've been lucky enough to get compliments like that from a number of people, which is nice, which is very nice.
Yeah, fantastic. What is the one new thing you've learned during the lockdown?
Zoom. Like everybody, I've
Oh,
learned
Zoom
how to
calls.
use Zoom. Yeah, it's quite interesting, Dipti, because here in the UK, before COVID, if we were doing interviews with celebrity, most of the times those interviews would be on the phone rather than on video call. And then it'd only be if the celebrities come here or I go to Mumbai that we would do the interviews face to face. But now Zoom has I know for a lot of people they are tired of using Zoom because it's not the same as human connection. But actually, for journalists who live abroad, it's very good because you finally have face-to-face interaction in
Yes,
some way or another.
absolutely, absolutely. Oh, well done. One piece of advice you'd give to new and accomplished or existing filmmakers.
Take every opportunity that comes your way. You know, there are film festivals that are there for you to showcase your work, to showcase your passion for cinema. And it doesn't matter if you're not a polished filmmaker at this stage, you know, take these opportunities because they might lead to something bigger. You know, no opportunity is too small. And also, don't give up on your dream either. You know, like I said, the times are changing. You no longer need to be super rich and super privileged to be able to make a film. It doesn't work like that anymore, you know? And so use that to your advantage.
Okay, those were great words. Uh, one message you'd like to extend to TGIFF?
Well, thank you so much for being such a great platform. You know, I've been following your work on social media, and I think you're doing a really good job in kind of facilitating conversations as well for people who need to feel motivated and inspired. And I think it's really encouraging. And thank you so much for having me here today as well. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Well, let me tell you, this has been, like I mentioned earlier, it's one of the most fun, interviews. Since you put me in a spot as well, nobody done that before. So yes, it was fun and it was insightful. Thank you so much, Haroon, for joining us and speaking with us. And
Thank you.
personally, I take a lot, from your show and whatever I see of your interviews.
Thank
It
you.
gives a little bit. I think I've taken that piece of advice as well today.
Thank you, Dipti. It's been an absolute pleasure, and all the very best of luck to you and the festival as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Haroon, and take care.
Take care. Stay safe. Bye bye.
Bye bye.